together, hanging
Fired
out.
up today, man. Let me tell you something.
Things are happening. Dennis, I just want to congratulate Dennis because he closed a deal a couple weeks ago that blew my mind. Dennis, tell us about that house. What was it?
It is actually a villa in Miami that's also a condo, right? So you got a big, tall condo building like the one behind me over there, but down along the waterway, there's individual townhouses next to each other, 4 stories tall, private pool, $2.9 million property. Gorgeous, gorgeous, brand new construction. So the brand new construction part that brought in some variables that, needed massaging along the way. Like the property wasn't done yet.
Oh my goodness.
Floors weren't done, no railings on the stairs, kitchen half finished, no appliances, so it wasn't really lendable at that point. So we had a lot of issues to work through getting to that point. Obviously, everybody was it was right before Christmas. So everybody had a lot of tension and they ended up buying it cash.
Oh, wow.
And then we did an after the fact finance for them. Super awesome family. Been following them in the news a lot. Can't say who they are, but just they're a super awesome family, sports related. Super awesome. And we finally got the deal done. Obviously took longer than everybody wanted, but hands are tied,
But
property wasn't done yet.
This villa is sitting on stilts on the water almost.
Oh, that one. That's another one.
That's another one. That's a different one. That's a different cool one.
I'm talking about the manufactured built at a factory home that is put on top of stilts in Key West. That's the one.
Concrete stilts. Oh, that one. That'll close next month. That one will close in April. We got the appraisal back last week. Spot on. The company that we're working with, our investor lender, they're not afraid of it. They consider it urban.
Nice. Yes.
But, because of the low number of geographical people that live there, of course, it's the Keys. They're skinny little piece of land.
Now tell them the beauty. Does the client, the borrower show income, job?
No income verification, just
property qualified.
What's your
and
credit score?
Rentability.
What's your credit score? And does the property value out? They're not even asking for a DC debt coverage ratio. The debt service coverage ratio doesn't exist with this particular lender, as long as it appraises out. And this part's really cool. 0 days seasoning on the money to buy it.
Oh,
0
so
days.
Foreigners.
No.
He's domestic.
You can get a gift on an investment. That doesn't happen.
Money out of his investment property over here.
I gotcha.
His father's participating, closing an LLC. We don't care where the money came from.
Wow.
And
the great part about that is if a real agent would have sent that deal,
right,
they would have maxed out. They would have made their $2,500.
Yeah, it's $1.2 million property. So 25% down. Good deal.
That's cool.
He'll cash flow all day long when he closes.
I love that you guys are able to figure out things. So when there becomes a little, you don't just stop, right? It's like, oh, okay. It's just part of the game, right? You bob and weave and you create. And it's like, I love that you have excitement in that.
I have one win to share with you. Sure. And I can't mention the name of the client because she's an agent, but she was buying a brand new home from a builder. I wish I could say the name of the builder, but this builder, I think, was really discriminating against them, that they didn't want them to buy this house because their lender turned them down in January for the loan because, number one, the house only appraised for $500,000 and the sales price was $600,000. So that was number one mistake, right? Number two mistake is they said, no, we're going to switch our loan to our preferred lender, which was me. And we did a new appraisal based off the sales contract we had originally and got it appraised. But then in December, the builder decided, well, we're going to raise our price $50,000.
Mhm.
So all of a sudden they were having to come up with an extra 50 grand to get into this house. And the builder kept pushing out the closing. I kept extending the lock because I didn't want them losing their rate because they had a really good rate. And then we find out the agent went around the neighborhood and started seeing closings, and she knocked on doors to find out what the deal was, found the comp that sold for more that was larger. She sent me that comp 2 weeks ago. I sent it to the appraiser with the new amendment. She redid the appraisal in 2 days for me,
Wow.
and we were able to close them Friday.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay. Now the builder told the appraiser that the house wasn't done. It wasn't ready to the 18th after the lock expired again. And our head of underwriting said, get me the certificate of occupancy, because we thought the final was coming, and the builder pushed them out, and we funded it with the certificate of occupancy.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So that we
We're not
saved the lot.
messing.
And now the buyers who are agents felt that something was going on, because they felt like I think they were just, because I felt
Trying
like
to get
they
them to
just
fail.
did not want us in the neighborhood, and they were trying to, the
Aw.
salesman wouldn't
Wow.
even respond to them on emails.
Terrible.
And the only reason why I got information is because I was dealing directly with the title company.
Wow.
Hey, sometimes you got to do what it takes. And I love that y'all just did what it took.
And we did it. And that's a tremendous win and a blessing from God for them, because they
Yeah, that's awesome.
didn't want to have to come up with an extra 50 grand to get into that house.
Yeah. So we know prices are going up. That's good that you locked it so that they don't get the new rate. So what's the rate update?
Well, before we go into that, let me just tag on to what Lewis is saying, because I'm working with a guy who's also doing a new construction. And the builder, he's a veteran, and the
Mhm.
builder's trying to put him in the position to release his contract,
I'm hearing this a lot. Yeah.
because the property, I think, is 800 grand that he's buying, but it's now valued at almost double.
Oh, wow.
Almost double. But we're not even in a spot where we can do an appraisal yet, but just based on the other sales. So, and the builder's trying to force him out of the contract. It's getting
Yeah,
fishy.
it's
And
getting
I'm
out.
hearing this a lot, guys.
It's
I'm hearing
it's
it.
big time discrimination, number one. And number two, there's a lot of acceleration clauses that are in some of these builder contracts that allow them to raise costs, but then there's some that don't. I met with a builder the other day that he didn't have that on his, and he's taking it in the shorts in the next 7 houses he's closing on, because he's actually not making any money on them. But he's at least being honest, and he's finishing his job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Stand up.
you know what I'm saying? So I know that this guy's going to continue to do business, but the bigger boys like DR Horton, DH, I mean, all these big guys, they have that clause in their contract.
Yeah, of course they do.
And
Yeah.
they're going to raise
Well, not all of
rates.
that. Yeah, they have that clause. Not all of them are, most of them are, not all of them. Some of them are honoring their original contract price as long as you close on time, as long as you, everything like no.
Yeah, but if
fault
you
of
make
the
one
buyer.
mistake, they're willing to kick you out. That's what they're trying to do. with these-
Make zero mistakes as on the buyer side. And this is why the lender is so critical. You guys are so critical, because at that point, the only mistake really is not closing on time.
Right.
Yeah,
So
your
we're not
your
being
big your big fintech companies that are huge conglomerates can't handle what we did for this client last week. They can't
Right.
handle a property like what Dennis handled last week, and they can't move as fast as we can. Like, you know, we have our own underwriter that works for our team, for me and Dennis, that if we need something done, I can pull in a favor. I don't take advantage of her, but if there's a problem like what I ran into last week, I'm gonna send her a nice bottle of Chardonnay, and we're gonna get it handled.
Get it
I used to call it the bake a pie. Can you bake a pie?
done.
Right. And get and pull a favor.
Uh-huh.
And I tell people this all
gotta
the
take care of
time,
everything.
right? And I share, I was like, hey, how do you find your loan officer? Well, one, do you have his cell phone number? Right. Two, his processor, is he smiling at his processor on a regular basis? Right. And then the underwriter, can you bake a pie and deliver it to him, or give him a Chardonnay, or do you have to call an
Whatever it
800
takes
number?
to keep her
Yeah.
happy.
Or do you have to call an 800 number to get updates or send an email, and they may or may not get read in any period of time? And that has been, I feel like, something people undervalue. Okay, for a refinance, whatever, you're not going to probably not going to wind up homeless.
On a purchase, your loan officer should be, or their team should be reaching out to you weekly, not you reaching out to them, period.
Right.
Like yesterday morning, I spent the morning calling all the listing and all the buyer's agents that I have deals that I'm closing in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. And they're excited when I call. At first they're like, who's this? And I'm like, I explain who I said, is it okay if I call you once a week to give you an update? And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. Well, do you prefer email or a phone call? They're like, both. I'm like, okay.
Right. Or me, I'm like, I'd like a text message. And he's like,
he wants a quick text.
I just want a quick text.
Bettina's part of Relo, so she's going to get an email anyway, because a lot of times she's, the Relo agent on something, so she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Before I know. She'll call me, hey, I know we got CTC. And I'm like, I haven't even seen that email yet.
That's right. I was stuck in another meeting.
Oh, my goodness. So can we move to rates?
They're ugly.
No, they're not. I mean, they are what they are. Like Dennis was saying, they are what they are.
Yeah.
We expect them to go up. So in a few
Great
years,
awareness.
we'll probably, I say a few years, few months, we'll probably be like, hey, we should have hooked it up. We should have hooked it up back then a few months ago, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, MBS Highway, the Feds are meeting today. So there's going to be some turmoil. The stock market is going up. The Dow went up. We're down 16 points already for the day. The expectation is that they're going to raise rates again. The Feds are going to raise it another quarter.
And it's already baked in too, 25.
Yeah, it's already been baked in. So the rates you see today are going to be baked in already.
Baked in? I'm thinking about that pie earlier.
I figured I'd tack it back
I'm a
into the
realtor, so
pie.
talk to me like a realtor. What?
Okay, basically the investors and all that are expecting it. So they don't want to, get caught with their pants down. They've already raised the rates. Okay.
We already got the rate rise for that 25 basis points.
Like 2 days
So
ago.
they've been proactive about it. They're not going to react to
anticipating.
this announcement. They're not reacting to this announcement, probably. Is that what you're telling me?
It depends on the balance sheet thing.
Mm.
The only thing I believe that would help our rates, if I shared the screen right now and showed you the chart, you'll be like, holy cow, this is just getting worse and worse.
Is that a roller coaster ride you're showing me or what?
I could show it. I don't know. Do I want to share this thing? Let me see. Let's see. Do you guys see
Well, that's
this?
good to know. So we're not in a panic
See
to
it?
lock this morning.
Do you
There it
see
is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see that.
Free for all that you see here means that rates are getting worse. And here we're down here. So
All right.
pretty ugly. Let me stop sharing that because nobody wants
Against
to see
that fun line. Hey, and we're expecting it to continue down that on that trend.
Yeah, but we also need to expect that if you're in the fence and you're going to wait for rates to come back, you're in trouble, because by the time these rates bounce back in 2 years, the house you were looking at for 300,000 now 4 or 5. So you might
or 5, 6,
off the
7.
interest
Yeah.
and move on. Don't wait. I mean,
No.
I had a client yesterday go, you think I should wait till next year to buy? That way, I can save some more money to put down. And I go, well, I'll be honest with you. Right now, you qualify for 300. Next year, you're going to qualify for 225. So can you save 75, 80 grand?
Right.
And he's like, no. I said, then buy now.
Right. You can't save your way to wealth. That's
Don't worry about the rates.
Everybody will tell you, you cannot save your way to wealth. If you're an employee, right, and you earn a salary, it's pretty much impossible to save your way to wealth. You have to invest and have that money that you make working for you. You have to have assets and have those assets build equity, right? And that's why people from all around the world are investing in land and real estate here in the United States. And so not only are people like you and I competing for those properties, but also we have investors that are also competing for that.
Yeah, exactly. So which leads us right into the next thing, which is cash for king. Cash is king, right? So you want to be able to compete with those cash buyer investors. Even though you're financing, you want to partner with us at AmeriFirst Financial so that we can act on your behalf as the cash buyer for you. We've got, what is it, close to $1 billion sitting on the side, waiting to invest and be that financial partner. Basically,
About 800 million, but that's still a lot.
it's still a lot. 800 billion, billion hit
Come
down.
on.
It's an extra couple $100 million between friends. But right, yeah. So get fully pre-approved with us. We call it the PYT program.
Go into the PYT program too, please.
Yeah, protect your transaction. Basically, it's a full underwriting by an underwriter, not just us, the front end, giving you a pre-approval. This takes it another step further, gets you fully underwritten, scrubs out all the conditions, and says, we will do this loan if nothing else changes with regards to this. Property appraises, title comes in clear, boom, let's go.
And you're willing to put money on it.
Yes. So let me explain something about that. PYT is a process. Okay. It's not an overnight, like when you go buy a car and the credit union goes, yeah, yeah, you're approved, ready to go. I have agents calling, I want to get my client PYT and do cash offer tomorrow. I'm like, no, it is a process. It's just like when you're
How
buying
much lead time do you need?
You need 7 to 10 days, at least 2 weeks to make it right. So if you got a client that wants to do PYT, they can't be ready to put an offer in tomorrow. It's a 2-week lag time. Okay, because we're getting them completely underwritten, meaning we're doing the verification of employment, verification rent. We're doing everything. We're doing the Nexus Lexus. We're doing the background. We're doing the fraud. We're doing
just as though they had a property address and a executed contract.
Yeah.
Treat them exactly the same way.
I know most lenders don't want to do this because it's a lot of upfront work on them, and there's there's an investment on employee time to do that with no guarantee of of the contract of the buyer winning the contract. That's why most of them want you to have an executed contract. They'll go through a partial approval, pre-approval process. It's like remember we had the pre-qual and then now we had the pre-approval. Now we have the full approval. And in this market, it's that full approval that is winning. I mean, if you have to get financing, and the fact that you guys are willing to make the call, say we'll put money on it for the seller and the buyer.
15 to 20 grand, and part of that can be assigned if they're a veteran or first responder. It's 20,000. 12,000 of that is assigned to the seller, guaranteeing that we're going to close.
Yeah.
Okay. But then it also opens the box with the PYT for our Cash is King and trade-in product. So if you're fully underwritten and you want to write a cash offer, as long as you're approved conventional or VA, we at AmeriFirst will ask you to write a contract, AmeriFirst and or assigned. We will close that deal in as little as 10 days, but I ask agents put 20 days. Why? Because number one, we're going to order an appraisal regardless.
Right.
So we might as well order an appraisal in your original buyer's name. And if we can get them, and they're already credit approved, so all we're waiting for is title. So a lot of times we can just assign it back to them and get it closed. If there's an issue, we'll pay cash because we're already under contract. We have to, okay?
Right.
But it saves the client the fees. It really does.
And really the fees are relatively minimal if you think about
how much the house is going to go up in a month.
How much the value of the house is going to go up and the rates that are going to go up, right? So at the end of I've had people like they're tripping over pennies to get to dollars. And I'm like, yes, I understand this, but do you see what your in our market here in North Texas, at least, right? I don't know what it is or the rest of the country, but at least, and I know in Florida, right? It's that way.
If I'm buying a $400,000 or $500,000 home, okay, and I have to pay a $5,000 or $6,000 fee to do that. In 30 days, the house already went up 10 grand. I already got it back when I closed. I mean, I have the equity back already. So it is like a stupid no-brainer not to do it. It really is.
It's that tripping. I don't, no, because I hear this all the time and I'm like, what? Okay, we need to have a conversation and a clarity around this. Let's write it down. Column A, column B, at the end of the day, we need to look at we need to win the war, right? Be Costco and sell that rotisserie chicken for less.
Here in Florida, 954-648-4949.
Slower.
648-4949.
I invite everybody that's on this call or that's watching this and has a question about Cash is King or any of our products, reach out to Dennis. I'm telling you, he's very creative. He's outside the box. I'm the same way, but Dennis, I mean, I've seen some stuff that Dennis has pulled off that I just sit there and go,
Wow.
Square
And that's a
pencil.
lot
And
saying
I've been
coming
doing it
from
for a
you.
long time. I've been doing
Gotta
this for
shave it
26
down.
years. And Dennis, man, dude,
Yeah.
tip my hat off to you because,
Thank you,
man,
brother.
he
Yes.
does some
Gotta
stuff
make it
and
work.
I'm like, Jill's like, is that gonna work? I go, they already got it approved through the investor. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Get them
And-
done.
Get them done. And that's you. You're get them done, Dennis. So
There we go.
Boy
Yeah.
Nationals. I mean, he does stuff that I just sit there and just go,
and
really?
you get stuff done. So well,
And
and,
then
you're
my team just
licensed in
pushes it,
Texas
so-
too.
Yeah.
Dennis, you're licensed in
Great partner.
Texas.
Licensed in Texas coming soon. Licensed in California coming soon. Currently licensed in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and Colorado.
What's ETA
I'm-
on Texas and California?
Time.
It's just me. He's waiting
Waiting it
on me.
out.
He's
Just
waiting on
waiting
me.
it out.
Are you
He's
kidding
waiting on
me?
me.
Are you
Waiting on
kidding me?
Waiting on
I've been
those
doing
for
the California and the New
Texas.
Mexico stuff right now.
Dude. We're
It's
having
on me. It's on me.
I'm ending this call because we have to talk.
I'm like
Wasn't
licensed
gonna
in
out
15
you. I wasn't
states.
Stopping
gonna
live
out you.
stream. Bye guys. I have to have a
Bye.
private conversation.